Hey, Rick Sanchez. I'm going to share with you my discussion with one of the good guys of economics, a guy that I've spoken to many a times on my various programs, and he simply just gets it. He's one of those guys that I love to, I sort of love to watch him sort of break down what's going on in the economy, whether it's the U.S., whether it's BRICS, the G7, what have you. And I think I think his heart's in the right place as well. I really, really do. And here is a little bit of our conversation that we had the other day. I'd like to share that with you if you can, if you're willing to listen.
Can't pay the interest, or you can't pay the bank. You know, every country has rules. You go to court if that happens, and you dissolve the business if it can't pay off its debts.
Yeah, risk.
The United States now has borrowed $36 trillion, way more than its annual output of goods and services. We are at a level of indebtedness we've never seen before in peacetime, and only very rarely and for a short time in war. But this one keeps getting worse and worse. And what the Chinese have done, knowing full well that if the United States gets to a point where it can't pay its debts, you know who it's going to not pay them to first. The Chinese, because they're designated as the bad guy in this country. So they have been cutting back because it's too risky. But let me assure you, they're not the only one. There are 3 agencies in the United States that rank the credit worthiness of the United States. One is called Standard & Poor, one is called Moody's, and one is called Fitch. All 3 of them have reduced the credit worthiness from AAA, which is the best you can get, which the United States used to have, and which other countries have. We don't have it anymore. Those are all 3 American companies that have reached the same conclusion about American debt that the Chinese authorities have. The difference is the Chinese authorities are doing something about it. They're reducing their lending. So if the United States hits the ropes on this, they won't get hurt as badly as they would have if they hadn't reduced their debt.
So what's the final result for the United States if indeed this continues to happen? If China continues to dump U.S. treasuries, as you've just explained that they're doing and why they're doing it, and let's suppose, as you intimated, other countries join in and continue to do this as well, what happens down the road to the U.S. economy and its position, its vaulted position as the predominant currency in the world, for example?
One of 2 things is going to happen. The United States is going to face a situation it has not faced since the Second World War. That's 75 years ago, basically. It's going to face a situation where it cannot borrow every time it wants to spend more than it raises in taxes. It means our politicians, who have been able to go to the American people and say, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, I'll buy this, I'll do that, because they know they don't have to tax those people who would then rebel. They can borrow. If they can't borrow anymore, if the Chinese, the Japanese, and the others say no, they're going to either have to raise the interest rates to entice them to lend. And look what that'll do to this country. If interest rates go up, your monthly payment for your car goes up. Your mortgage on your house goes. We can't have that. That'll destroy our economy. Well, then what will the government do? It will have to stop borrowing. But if it stops borrowing, it hasn't got enough to cover. Who's then going to get cut? We're going to see cuts that make what the DOGE has been doing for the last 6 months look like nothing in comparison. We're going to finally see our politicians go to the old people and say, you thought you had Social Security. You don't. We're talking about the kinds of changes that have happened to other countries that go down this road. We are doing it because we need to pretend we have the situation that we did after World War II.
But
we don't.
What you just described is a Japan-like near collapse.
Yeah. And that's what, look, we are having a bubble in our stock market. We have a stock market that's held up high by about 8 high-tech stocks. The rest of the economy is in all kinds of trouble. We are expelling millions of people who work very hard for very little. I mean, you add up our problems, the rest of the world looks upon the United States as a rogue country. No other country is heaving tariffs on everybody. We're the only one. People ought to stop and say, well, what's going on here?
But
we are making every other country pay tribute to sell into our country. That may make us feel like a tough guy, but you're giving an incentive to every company around the world not to do business in or with the United States. It's an extraordinarily desperate act.